Hello, world. What's up? Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Matt Forte. We are here live at the Build Studio in New York City. Our next guest is a 17-year-old NASCAR driving phenom. With her win last season, she became the first female driver ever to win a K&N Pro Series race. She's been featured all over NASCAR. The buzz around her is getting bigger by the minute. Folks, please make a ridiculous amount of noise. Welcome legend in the making. The great Hailie Deegan is right here, people.
That was one hype right there. That was good. Props to you.
Good? Thank you, but props to you. I mean, you have achieved more in the first 17 years of your life than I have thus far. Well, I'm not going to say how old I am, but much older. And this is it. This is what I've got. You are incredible, though. I was looking at all the stuff you've done already and all the stuff that you're going to do. It's an amazing story. I'm so excited you're here right now.
Thank you. Hey, we're all in the same place over here, okay?
It's very cool to have you here, especially with everything you got going on. I was looking at your feed, and you were having the world's greatest summer, as far as I can tell. Is that correct so far? It's been pretty good?
Yeah, it's been good. Racing every weekend, traveling all new places. First time in New York, so...
Well, hold up.
Yeah, it's her first time here.
This is your first time in New York?
Mm-hmm.
Let's hold for applause. It's her first time in New York, people. Let's make her feel welcome. That's amazing. How long have you been in New York so far?
This is my second day here.
Second day?
Yeah.
So have you done everything?
Just about and media stuff. So, not yet. We're still working on some stuff. I turn 18 tomorrow.
You turn 18? Oh, hang on. Hold for another round of applause.
Yeah. So...
Happy almost birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, my goodness. What are you doing?
So far, I thought I was going to be at the racetrack, because I fly the racetrack on Friday. But it turns out my race isn't until Saturday, so practice Friday, so I'll fly in Friday morning. But tomorrow, I think we're just going to hang out here, sightsee a little bit, be tourists for the day, since I don't get to do that much. So
What's a site you're excited to see? What do you got to see before you got to
shopping.
The shopping. Oh, yeah.
I wear, like, the same pair of, like, jeans every single day and hoodie, but in the end, you know, we still like buying stuff.
It's pretty amazing. And it is your birthday. You should treat yourself.
Yes.
Actually, people should be treating you. It is your birthday.
We'll borrow Dad's
18th
card for
birthday,
the day.
big deal. That's a huge deal. Is it feel bigger than other birthdays have, being your 18th birthday and everything?
I think this birthday feels so big in a sense because I get to race super speedways now. So tracks like Daytona, Talladega, some of the big tracks now I get to race at since I'll be 18. So that's something I've looked forward to ever since I was a kid. Yeah, so
The doors are opening up.
That's the pinnacle of my 18th birthday right there.
You can't wait. What's the first, I'm 18 now, I can't wait to do this thing that you can't wait to do? First thing, pick one.
I don't know. I'd say, gosh, they're just...
I'm putting you on the spot.
I know.
That's a tough question.
Stuff you can do.
It's a whole lifetime of things you can think of, and I'm asking you to choose one.
I've pretty much done everything I've ever wanted to do. Pretty much everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'd say just racing in general. I'm at the track every single weekend. That's what I look forward to, is going to the big track.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
You get to do what you love every single weekend.
I love it.
What's it look like? You said you're racing this weekend. What's preparation look like going into that? How do you get ready for a race? What are you doing?
I train every day. It's a constant working process of going to, so they have these simulators. It's not everyone knows what they are, but they're like giant. If you kind of watch the Cars movie, you know they have that simulator in the last Cars movie. That's what I kind of tell people who don't know a ton about racing. And they have, it's pretty much like a car that's indoors, and it's like a giant, almost a movie theater screen. And you get like actual like practice racing and setups in it. And so I go there for like 6 hours practice, get some seat time. So I did that before this race. So that's kind of like the main thing I do. I practice every single day when I'm at home in a go-kart, player's truck, anything that I can get in and drive, I pretty much do.
I have a million questions about this simulator. Okay. So
I'm not allowed to give you too much information.
That's fine.
But yeah.
That's fine. But it sounds to me like the world's most expensive, most advanced, coolest video game in the entire world.
It pretty much is. Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I'm not a huge video game person, but
Right.
this is like one thing that it's a fangirl moment where you're like, this is almost unreal.
And I imagine the purpose of the simulator, as the name suggests, is to simulate actual racing.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's very realistic.
Yeah, it is. Very realistic. It has like just crazy. It moves around on the platform, and so it's almost just like the Cars simulator.
But it is a giant dome projecting an image, so in theory, you could race anywhere in the world, not just
pretty
a track,
much any
right?
track.
Is there a switch you can flip, and then like all of a sudden you're in the middle of Fast and Furious or something, and like
that'd be awesome.
No?
That's like some of my favorite movies. But yeah, I'd say that they like set up the tracks, and it like scans. They have this scanner that goes out and scans all these racetracks. So you feel every bump in the racetrack. You feel every slick groove.
monsters? Do they throw monsters in the racetrack?
Not yet. No,
All right.
that's an.
Give me the number of this
advancement.
simulator guy. I got a couple of ideas.
I know. Yeah, I'll have to give you his number.
How does this thing not have monsters?
Yeah,
That's
I
the
know.
first thing you do. You
True.
can create any reality. Well,
Yeah.
it sounds amazing.
It is.
All right, so you do the simulator thing. When you say training, is it that you're doing the simulation? You're in a go-kart. Do you are you in the gym? Are you doing physical fitness
I
as
go
well?
to the gym a lot. For training, I wouldn't say like it's not like about bench pressing or lifting.
What are your goals? Like,
Yeah.
what are you working towards in the gym?
It's more of an endurance game. You're in the car. It's about 150 degrees for 3+ hours, and so it's a long time. And so you're sweating, and you don't really feel it until you start getting under cautions, and you're just kind of going around at a slow pace. That's when the air kind of gets really hot, kind of stills down, and you're like, man, it's getting warm in here. So you grab your little water bottle on the side of your car, and next thing you know, like the first inch of water is just straight burning hot. And so there's things that pile on, but in the end, that's what I signed up for.
And you train physically for that, but that also to me sounds like a huge mental game.
It is,
Like
yeah.
you have to, how do you prepare yourself? Do you ever get anxious? I know you love racing, but that sounds like you're kind of stuck in this moment in time where it's super hot and you got to focus really hard. Do you ever get a little anxious or antsy beforehand knowing, I got to mentally prepare to be in this moment, right?
Yeah, I think everything that I do in life in general is for racing.
Yeah.
And my whole life is surrounded by it. I graduated high school at 16 for racing. So it's just so many things that I've done in my life is just for my career to get done. And so it's just every single day I work towards it. And I prepare as much as I can. So when I go to a race, I'm like, I regret not running the extra mile or something like that. And so it's just everything I do is just so I can win.
Does music play a role? Do you have like a playlist?
Yeah, I love music.
What's on your go-to playlist?
Go-to playlist, I'd say before a race is like I love Eminem.
Really?
Love Eminem.
Eminem gets you ready to go.
Yeah, and so the race before I won my first race, me and my crew guys, everyone already kind of stares because I'm a girl at the races and there's not any other girls, so we like blare music kind of.
There's not any other girls.
There's not really any other girls.
The ratio is
the
not.
occasional like one that comes in for a season and like they'll drop off, but there's not any girls that have won yet. So
Well,
yeah.
I'm looking at it. Yeah, there is now.
There hasn't been any girls to win in the past, so
Yeah.
being able to win in the whole NASCAR series is something that hasn't been done, and so we're just working day by day to win more races.
What's that feel like when you check those boxes off? When you've done it, you are the first female to win in the K&N race. What does that feel like?
It's
What does
just
that
a
mean?
major accomplishment.
Yeah.
It's so much work. It's so hard. People don't understand how time-consuming it is. And to have stuff like that happen, do something that no other girl's done, no other person's done, it's just a huge motivation to keep working. It's like every time I win, it's like, okay, we're going to keep working, because the feeling of winning is like no other.
What's your victory song? Still Eminem?
Still Eminem.
Still Eminem.
I'm the real Slim Shady. That's my song.
That's it?
That's the song we played before I won. Yeah, that's my jam.
You know, being the first female to win, I saw, again, not stalking, research. I was looking at your Instagram.
You're all good.
And I was looking at your Instagram, and there was a great video. It was you after a win, and all these like adorable little girl fans, and you were like taking pictures and signing and talking to them and stuff and chatting them up, and it was a great moment. And it's amazing to sort of see that in action of them seeing you, and like you could like feel just like the forward momentum here. Who was that person for you growing up? Who did you look up to? Who did you see and say, I want to go do that?
I'd say it was mostly my dad growing up.
Yeah.
I saw him, and not necessarily, he didn't race NASCAR, but he had his whole dirt bike thing going. He had his whole off-road racing thing going.
It's the most decorated X Games motocross. I love it. Yeah, my
He's
dad had his
done a few
thing.
things in his
He didn't race the
lifetime.
cars,
But yeah.
but, no slouch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most kids are like, oh, my dad's not cool. Like, I don't have like a cool dad. Like, my dad's a cool dad. Like, I'm cool with my dad hanging out. Yeah. And so I'd say that growing up, I looked at him, his work ethic, everything that he accomplished, his broken bones, getting back, winning again. And so it was just constantly an uphill battle for him, and starting from nothing, that I saw his work ethic, and that's something that I wanted. And I can only imagine if I was a little girl and went to the NASCAR races and had someone take the time for me and give their time to talk with me and talk about racing, like how much that would have motivated me more. So when I see little girls at the racetrack, like there's not many little girls at the racetrack. So I take my time, always like get on my knees and like talk to them and like get on their level of just showing them what it's all about and why come to races, and ask them, why are you having fun? Are you excited to watch the race? Like, who's your favorite driver? And so it's just things like that makes my day.
Does it ever hit you in the moment like how crazy it is that you're on the other side of that? Like you're the one holding the pen, doing the signing now?
Because just not too long ago, I was that little girl. Yeah. And so it's crazy how time flies. And next thing you know, I'm turning 18. I get to go race at Daytona at these crazy tracks that I watched as a kid.
Yeah. You watched them, and now you're going to be on them.
Yeah.
I got to go back to something you mentioned a second ago, because I think everybody, no matter how cool everybody's dad is, there is a phase you go through where it's still your dad and it's not cool. It's maybe it's like a year, maybe it's a couple of years. You come back around, you realize your dad is cool, but there is a period of time. Did you ever have that phase, or was your dad
not
consistently
really.
cool?
Like consistently
to you,
cool.
like you always saw him as cool.
Yeah.
I'm not questioning your dad's level of cool. Nobody is.
No, I always saw my
you,
dad as cool. Like my dad's like, he's one of my best friends. Like he's like, I hang out with him every single weekend. I hang out with my parents every single weekend. It's what racing is. They all come to all my races, and we just have this like father-daughter bond that's like not many people have, especially in racing, because there's not many girls. And he's been through it all in racing, so I learned from him.
You've always, from what I can tell, like what's your earliest memory of being into racing or any kind of extreme sport? How early did you start being active and being a part of your dad's world?
I was always into racing because it was around me. I was always into my dad's motocross stuff, always going to X Games with my whole family. It was like our year family vacation was going to X Games. And so it was just different things
cool
that,
vacation.
yeah, it was. I always thought it was cool. I didn't want to go Hawaii. No, I want to go to X Games. And so it was like just a different atmosphere growing up in, and just being around it all. And people are like, oh, well, you didn't live like the average kid lifestyle, or your dad's like not an average dad. Yeah, my dad's not an average dad. That's what makes him a cool dad.
What was there ever, when you first started showing interest, your dad being in this world forever, very familiar with the inherent risks. It's why these sports are as impressive as they are, as exciting as they are. Was he ever hesitant when you were getting interested in his world and racing and all these different things because of the danger, or was he always encouraging?
Yeah, I think that's why he didn't push me into it so much. Like, he let me go towards racing. It was my decision. It wasn't really his. I was the one who begged for that car on my 8th birthday, and it was just, he was fully behind me when he saw I was fully into it. And both my parents were, and my mom was too. And so it was a constant thing that I was around it so much that it was almost, I could have gone the dirt bike route, but that's not promising for a 5'4" girl. So it's just, he saw a career for me in motorsports, and that was the most promising way for me, and I definitely thank him for that now, so I don't have to break any bones. So haven't had any injuries yet. So
has there ever been a thing that you wanted to try or do, and your parents were like, that's too dangerous? No.
Probably dirt bikes. Like,
really?
I know how to ride a dirt bike, but like, probably I wish, like, as a kid I probably would have done it, stuck with it like as a hobby more.
Yeah. I mean, you don't, because it's more of a hobby. Because you, looking at your Instagram, you drive, you ride all kinds of vehicles and things. Is there something that's universal, be it your truck or your stock car, or that was the Polaris thing that you flipped? Like, is there something that's like universal across all of that like driving that you feel when you get behind the wheel of a vehicle, that like something that carries across from thing to thing? Are you learning something behind every different vehicle?
Yeah, you learn something. That's why people are like, why don't you just go practice in a stock car? Well, what am I going to learn in a stock car that I already don't know practicing? So I'm going to go and drive this other car. I'm going to go drive a midget. I'm going to go drive a sprint car. I'm going to go drive go-karts. It's just any car that I can get in, I do, because you learn something from every single form of racing.
We've got some great footage of you on the track right here. They showed you
that
getting
was
the
at
car.
the dirt track, Vegas.
Boom! Look at that victory.
Came from dirt racing, yeah.
Eminem playing in the background right there. What is that moment like when you climb out of the car and there's that moment as well.
Yeah, that's that one too.
We can talk about that too, but specifically that moment of victory right there, you're being covered in confetti and beverages of varying types. What does that feel like? Look at you, you're on cloud 9.
Yeah, it is. It's something where people are like, I never go to race and like, I never want to regret not making a swing, not taking a chance for a win. And that's something that I've always based my racing career is do whatever it takes to win. Yeah. Just, there's no feeling like winning. And everything you work for is to win. It's not to get second. And so if you have an opportunity to take it and go get it. And so it's a different aspect that not many people have. And so winning is it's what drives me. It's what drives a lot of racers, and that's your goal.
Yeah. And when you win, it's the best feeling in the entire world.
It is, yeah. Like, I get full hyped, and I think I learned that from my dad. If you watch his, like, old winning videos, it's pretty comparable.
What's it been like as the buzz has been growing, as you're achieving all these victories and growing in popularity? Social media, your presence is growing in popularity as well. More eyes, more attention, more spotlight, more critics. Like, how have you learned to navigate for all the great stuff that you can get, all the positive feedback from social media? There's
always negative.
There's always negative.
Always. You can never make everyone happy, and that's the biggest thing, especially that last one where you saw kind of a little controversial. But I'd say you saw that not everyone's going to be happy, and you can't make everyone happy. It's impossible. And I'd say before that last win, I'd say 99% were positive, but now a little more, that percent went down just a little bit, not much. But I'd say that I focus on the positives. My social media, I try to keep it all positive, and I try not focus on the negatives, because negative people just pull you down. People want to be around positive people who motivate them and drive them to be a better person.
Yeah. Is that something that you've had to, like, has that been hard to learn how to do, or has it been instinctual? Like, you just kind of follow your heart, you know what you're doing, you know who to listen to, who not to listen to, you have your family, you have your friends, and then you have social media. Like, has it been difficult figuring out how to handle all of that since it's happened so fast, or no?
I'd say it comes with time, but like I feel like I've gotten a good grasp on it now.
Yeah.
Now seeing everything and being so involved in social media at such a young age, and just being in the racing world at such a young age, I've had to mature a lot quicker than kids my age, and especially not going to high school, not going through all that and that social life. It's changed who I am, and it's made me mature quicker, and that's something like I don't regret at all, and I like where I'm at in life, and so just living every day to the fullest.
You seem to be at a pretty good place, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We're going to go over in just a second. We've got some questions from Twitter. We got audience questions. We're going to do those. But the one thing I wanted to, looking at that, the footage of that moment where, the controversial win, as it was.
Yeah.
You're very much in control of that moment. You're doing exactly what you need to do to win. For the layman, from the outside person, that looks like a really scary moment. There's tons of scary moments on the track, I'm sure. What has been your scariest moment that you've made it through and you've gotten to the other side and gone, whew, that was close?
I would say the biggest thing is I saw my dad racing dirt bikes, motocross, and that's such a dangerous sport. You're breaking bones by the month. You're just constantly getting hurt. And that's why I was glad I was in car racing. And so luckily I haven't had any injuries, knock on wood, but haven't had really any injuries. The only thing you have to watch out for is fire. And so you're in like your full fireproof gear. Like I have my suit on, my headstock, my helmet, everything fireproof, but that only gives you an extra 10 seconds. So.
Yeah. Have you ever were you like the first amongst all your friends to drive, I imagine?
No.
No?
All my friends are at the racetrack.
Huh.
So, yeah.
So they were driving, okay.
We were all driving at the same time. We all raced together.
Yeah, I'm such an idiot. I just had it in my head. I was like,
okay.
she's probably the first to drive. They probably had her drive them everywhere. She's probably giving rides all the time.
No,
your friends all are on the racetrack.
Yeah, we're all on the racetrack. It gets a little sketchy on the freeway sometimes, like
Does
with
it?
your friends, yeah.
Oh, man.
There are a couple bump drafts, slide jobs.
All right, we'll talk about that after the cameras go off.
Hi.
Well, all right, let's turn it over. We've got a question from a viewer on Twitter out there. Philip Louis01 says, since today is World Emoji Day, I wanted to know, what's your favorite emoji? Very timely question, Philip Louis. Thank you for that. What's your favorite emoji?
I'd say that describes me the best is the laughing one, just because people will sometimes make fun of my laugh a little bit. Sometimes people call me sound like Squidward, but that's okay. So me and my dad have the same laugh, but
Which degree of laughter? Are we talking just standard big smile, squinty eyes? Or we have the tears? Are we sideways?
I think it's
Tears
a
streaming?
sideways one.
Sideways one?
Sideways,
Okay, yeah.
and then the little I don't know if it's the little devil horns one.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
then
a good one.
Smiling. Yeah, I like
that's
that
a
one
good
too.
Great choice.
Yeah.
Great question. Okay, I got two in the room. Fantastic. Let's do it up. You got a microphone. Ask your question. First one right over here. Go for it, sir.
Hi, Hailie. Well, first of all, I want to say happy birthday.
Thank you.
So, what was your first memory of wanting to be a NASCAR driver or a race car driver in general?
I'd say my first memory was just going to the track with my dad and seeing the other kids racing. That was the biggest thing for me, is just seeing other kids do something that I could do. Well, I saw myself as the kid. I was like, if you can do it, I can do it. And so I still am that way growing up. And so I saw these other kids doing something that I wasn't doing at the moment, and I wanted to do it. And so I just stuck behind it, kept begging my parents over and over again. And next thing you know, we're fully into the sport of racing, winning races, and carrying on.
So amazing. Were there other little kid things you wanted to do? I want to be a pony. I want to be like a. I want to be.
You want to be a pony?
I'm saying like crazy little kid dreams that like aren't realistic, and your parents are like, well, at least she wants to drive. Like,
Man, I know.
I want to paint with fire. I don't know. That's a weird one.
Yeah,
where did that
weird.
come
I don't
from?
know where that
That
came
revealed
from.
something
Yeah,
weird about
that's a little
myself.
weird.
I don't know. But I mean, like, you know, like weird little kid dreams that you want to be when you're a kid. Like, I want to, I don't know, be an astronaut. That's not a weird one.
I
Anyone could be an
remember,
astronaut,
yeah,
kids. There's kids here today. Don't give up if you want to be an astronaut. I'm terrible at this.
There was nothing that was unreal. This is bad.
I'm like the craziest little kid dream.
I didn't really have any crazy little kid dreams. There's a video of me when I'm like 8 years old, and it goes like, I want to race NASCAR, and it's like super pitchy face. Yeah, that was like, that was my moment.
That's the normal version of my question. Was this your dream from the beginning?
Yeah, that was my dream from the beginning.
If I didn't have severe problems, that would have been the question I asked. That's okay.
all
I want to paint with fire, Kate. And I have another question in the room. I got one more. Cool. What do we got? Come on down.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
I was wondering if you have time off from racing, is there something that you like to do that is maybe unrelated to the NASCAR world?
Okay, so I'd say everything I do is usually racing related. I hang out with my friends. We go to the go-kart track and like race, and it's super fun because we all try to like kill each other off the track, and like it's fun. And so I'd say the closest thing I get to like normal girl stuff is shopping, which I end up wasting my like race win money on shopping. Even though I wear the same like team shirt, I wear these black pants with like little knee holes and stuff pretty much every single day. And so everyone like knows I wear like the same outfit. And people on Instagram are like, are you wearing the same pants as yesterday? I'm like, no, I have like 10 pairs, okay? And they're only like $20. And so I wear like the same thing every single day. But I'd say shopping is like where I waste my money and have my normal person time, I guess.
Those are great questions. Those are great questions. I mean, you're 18 tomorrow. Happy birthday again.
Thank you.
So you're
One more
still,
time.
yeah, absolutely. But so this isn't, I don't know that this is as big of a priority in your life right now, but do you have a thing? Do you ever slow down intentionally? Do you ever relax? Is there a way to relax? Do you have to consciously relax because this is so intense, because what you do is so high intensity? Like, do you have to like take mental precautions to meditate or zen out and just like take a quiet moment? Or do you like living right now just at 11?
I love being fast-paced going all the time, but there's those moments where like before a race you like to relax, and like I am a big food person, so like I always like eat before I race, always.
Really?
I'm always making myself, people are like, you're gonna get sick. Like,
I was gonna say, isn't that a bad idea?
Yeah, I know people think it's a bad idea, but like, I
Well,
love
obviously
it.
not you're winning. What the hell
I
do
love
I
it,
know?
so it's
Like,
okay.
I'm the last person to say that.
Do
but
what
I
you
mean,
love.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously.
Yeah.
What do you eat before you race?
Anywhere. It depends what kind of phase I'm in my life, whether it's like a salad or like gushers. It varies. We have those
You
days.
keep gushers in the car?
Yeah, and, I used to, and then I started trying to eat healthy. I was in your little office area, and like my weakness is pink Starburst, and you guys have a giant bowl of pink Starburst. I put it
Just
on my
the Reds.
Instagram story.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's how we roll here at
Yeah,
Bill.
yeah, it's
Just
good.
the Reds.
Yes.
We know what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I may be in like 15 of those, and it's probably not a good idea. I was like,
I wasn't kidding. I was saying take a handful for the road.
yeah,
All right.
I know. And I was like, oh my God.
It's your
healthy.
birthday after
Yeah.
all.
That's what I'm counting. I'm like, it's my birthday week. We'll just count it in.
The least
it's
I
okay
could
to
offer
binge
you
a little.
is several free Starbursts on your birthday.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say it again because it's a big deal. Happy birthday. That's
Thank
huge. I'm so excited that we got to talk to you.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you so much for your first time in New York, carving out a little bit of your schedule to come here and hang out with all us.
No problem.
Super cool. Very much appreciate it. Congratulations on everything
Thank
you've
you.
already done, and pre-congratulations. When you win everything else you're going to win, promise you'll come back and tell us how you
I will
did it.
come back.
All
I
right?
promise.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Yeah,
Thank you
'cause I
so
won't go
much.
shopping here again.
Thank you guys for being an awesome audience. Thank you to Philip Louie for that question. And one more time, everybody, please, crazy amount of noise. And thank the great Hailie Deegan right here for joining us. Come on, do it up.